How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Explain to the people who you are, because I'm not sure if people know who you are. I do.
So, my name is Janelle Fraser. I am 27. I do many things. First and foremost, I'm an A&R at a publishing company called Stellar Songs, who are a JV with Sony ATV. And on the side, I am a part-time tour manager, event coordinator, and sort of kind of everything music related. Do a bit of stuff.
Cool. We're going to get into everything music related today, so don't worry about that. So how did you first become an A&R? How did you get into become an A&R at Stellar Songs?
Before getting into an A&R, I was running a live music event for 5 years. But within that sort of organising a music event, you're choosing and picking acts. So you're kind of A&R in an event in itself. I remember you can't just have the music you like per se. You have to cater to what you think other people like as well. So you're listening to so many things. And I think that really sort of gave me the foot in the door because I already had like quite a good rapport with a lot of artists, and I had noticed a lot of people really early on, and then I had helped them progress in their career because it was beyond the event. It was you did the event as sort of like a start of us as an organisation helping you in whatever way we could. So whether that mean we getting you in with other artists to work, or producers, getting you PR, whatever it is you need to sort of take the next step, we would help with, as well as just putting on the event. So I was kind of doing little things, but without the A&R title.
Like A&R is a term that's bandied about a lot in the industry.
Yeah.
So what do you actually do?
So A&Rs, they are sort of responsible for making the project as a whole. So obviously, what people forget is that there's records and there's publishing. Now, records, they do more of the branding of the artist. So they'll do something like getting an artist on Jules Holland, or getting an artist on a Nike campaign, or something like that. Whereas the publisher, I mean, it does vary, but I say we care more about the music. So we're more about, wow, I really love this song. Who else can I get on it? This writer is amazing. You should be in with this person. This producer is amazing. You should be in with this person. And also what we do is we do a lot of the splits. So, if there's like 5 people on the track, how we split in that accordingly. We do a lot of discovering and I feel like developing the new talent almost, because although labels do develop, you can have an amazing singer-songwriter who then turns artist, but we can sign them without being an artist. Like Neo, Kerry Hilson, they all started off as songwriters, turned artists, but they were making money from being published as a songwriter before they were as an artist. And also, I feel like a lot of people undermine the power of songwriting and producing because, you're not seen in the limelight. But, if you go on Spotify, you right-click and show credits, you've got like so many names that nobody knows, but they're making money off these big songs that everyone's singing. Yeah. So it was a lot of the behind-the-doors sort of thing that the publishers do. And as an A&R, I think it's our role to make sure that we are being one step ahead of the game, because music's forever changing. Yeah. And it's music, but it's also like current trends and fashion, so you've got to be on it. And it's like, I would say it's kind of a tricky one, because you kind of have to go with your gut. There might be something that's so hot right now, but it might just not be for me. Yeah. And, that's when it comes to personal preferences and business preferences. There might be someone we sign on a business deal that I may not necessarily like have their music on my personal playlist, but they're selling numbers, units. Vice versa, I may absolutely love something and I have so much faith in it and it will develop over time, whereas I could play it to someone, they won't get it straight away. But I believe in it so much that I'm pushing it, bringing it forward, X, Y, and Z. I mean, there's been acts we've developed for 2 years before signing them. Yeah.
And now you talked about developing acts, going with your gut feeling. Mm-hmm. When you go to find talent, mm-hmm. how do you go about finding talent?
It's so funny. So, one, I don't think there's a set way of finding it anymore.
Okay.
I think with the emergence of things like social media, I get sent stuff all the time. I get atted in stuff all the time. I come across stuff all the time. Like, there's so many different things. But back when I was doing I Love Live, the whole point of that was, especially in the urban world, you're not going to get to see a grime or a rapper performing in London. You're going to have to go to Peterborough at 3 a.m. to see a PA set. And the point of I Love Live was created so that there was, one, everybody knows that, you're not able to recreate the same sounds live. But it's such a thing where it's such, it gives an artist, especially early on, so much knowledge as to their sound. And once you know your sound, I think that helps you so much in your whole career. And it was created so that we are able to give people the platform. So showcases, obviously, they're a big, big one. But all sorts. I think that for me, I know that there's so many young kids who are doing this at college now. They're linking up on SoundCloud. Literally, like, I've heard so many, I met this guy on SoundCloud. I'm like, what? Because then I'm thinking, I might have a 16-year-old. I'll be worried if they're meeting someone on SoundCloud type thing. But yeah, there's that. And also, you get a lot of, when you're in the industry, there's a lot of people who have rosters of artists. So I might have a friend who manages an existing artist. I know they say, yo, Jan, I'm just taking on a new artist. Or there's so many different ways. Or I might hear a song and be like, the artist singing it, but I was like, who wrote that? And then I'll do my research into that. It's not just about the song. It's who produced that sort of stuff. And I might like the sound. And, I tend to... with publishing, remember, it's not my money, but it is my company's money. So I don't want to sign something just for the sake of, I think it's hot and that's it. I really have to be into the project. That's why I think development is so key. But yeah, that's that.
Explain the difference between publishing and a record deal. Because I think people get confused. Yeah,
they do. Okay, so a record deal is simply for records. So when you make the song and you make the record and you make the album, are there to push it. So when you make the album, you have tours, you have press, you have loads of interviews, you have branding, you have all that sort of stuff, which is building your career as an artist. Now, publishing, what we do is we sign you for the rights to your songs. So, for example...
So a lot of people, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of people talk about masters.
Right, owning the rights to your masters. Exactly.
Okay.
So the thing with publishing, it's actually meant to be what do you call it? Like an advance to push you to the furthest, like the next stage per se. So, you're an amazing writer, but you're still working full time. It doesn't always work like that, but it tends to be like your publishing deal gives you a little extra money in your pockets that you can further your career, you can put back into your career, if that makes sense. So, if I think your caliber of songs are here, I give you a publishing deal, you get to take, you say you go from working 5 days a week to 3 days a week, your level of your writing skills is only going to go up because you have more time to focus on it.
Yeah, makes sense.
That sort of thing. And also, remember, now with producers, as a producer, the max you're ever really going to get is 50% of a song, because, and that's absolutely max the producer, because, unless you're making just instrumentals, which dance DJs do a lot, dance producers, they do a lot, but majority is it's got an artist on it, and then if it has an artist on it, did they write that or did someone else write it? So the splits get broken down. I mean, Beyonce has like 8 writers on the song. I think Travis had, on the last album, I think he had like 21 writers.
Wow.
Or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So if you think, and the thing is that when you're doing a publishing deal, how it works is, we don't just give you the money and be like, here, go spend it. We also have what we call a product guarantee. And so let's say you're a producer, for example, and I say, in your deal, I need a 4%, 400% song product guarantee. Now remember, that's over 3 years, even though I'm saying to you 4 songs over 3 years. Sounds a lot, but also if you're getting only 50% of a song max, that's automatically 8 songs.
Yeah.
And then from that, say you're not even getting 50% of a song, you're getting 33 or 25 or whatever, it all gets broken down. So you might need like, what would it be? You may need like 16 songs at 25% over 3 years. Now, if you think about how many songs an artist put out a year. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot because you may make 50 songs, but of that, one will make an album or one will actually get cut. Yeah. It's not about just making them, it's about getting them released as well. And obviously in publishing deals, this is the thing, you can structure it accordingly. Yeah. So you can put 400% songs put out on an independent, or you can say put out on a major. You can literally word it how you like, within reason. And it all gets very technical, and there's a lot of lawyers, but it's really interesting because for me, like the gratitude of seeing someone advance in their career is amazing. And they're normal people like me and you. I think a lot of people look up to artists and anyone in the industry and like, oh, this person is famous or whatever. And when they get, like, I remember my boss was telling me one of our writers found out she got a cut on the Drake track. She didn't even know what song it was. She literally wrote the song 2 years ago with Nana Rogues. And
is he Disturbing London, right?
DL.
Yeah.
And so she was like, what song? He's like, well, we don't know the exact name yet. And obviously Drake campus super, 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 super tight. She heard it when the album dropped at midnight, same time we heard it.
That's crazy.
And let's just say she recouped what with the remainder of her deal like this.
The music industry is a male-dominated industry.
100%.
How do you find navigating as a female in the industry?
I think that compared to 10 years ago, females have a lot more influence within the industry. I feel that, the way females work is so different to men, and they need that. Nowadays, they really need the balance. They need the female input, especially with the emergence of, female artists as well. Yes, you've got the Beyoncés who are like the golden child, but then you've got so many artists, especially from the UK. Look at Steph. She's doing amazing right now. Mabel, Ray, like there's so many of them. And also it's a thing where like I'm seeing so much more female managers simply because we're able to relate with the artists. Like it's literally that we're able to relate to the artist more. There's a lot more, there's just a lot more opportunity. And I also think that, it's quite a lot of work being in the industry. And I don't know if there was some sort of like underlying thought or belief before that, like females wouldn't be able to handle it. But, we have shown that we are. And I just feel we're being given the same opportunities now, really. I think we've just worked continuously hard to establish ourselves. But I do think that there's still not enough opportunity. I walk into labels all the time and see way more males than females.
Yeah, I was going to say that now that you're in the industry, do you still face barriers as a female?
100%. But, you can't let it knock you back. Yeah. And I don't think it's like a major barrier, but I do think there are still barriers within it because, if you are a female who is around rappers all the time, genuinely for work, no other reason, people will question you when they don't even know you. They'll be like, why is she around rappers? Or, I have no business with any, not me per se, but just in general as well. I may not have like any other beings with these rappers just apart from work. That's actually it. And if you're in a corporate world and you have a 9 to 5 and you have a set routine, they could be like, why are you out at 2 a.m. at an event? I literally have to go see it for work. Or, your job is fun. You get to go to concerts. Yeah, it's fun. But, when you're finishing at 5 o'clock and I'm not getting home till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love what I do, so it doesn't seem like work. So I'm quite lucky.
Yeah, you're right.
I literally love what I do.
But did that surprise you when you first got into your position? Did that surprise you that just the amount of, I suppose, that just the amount of talk about your role or females' roles in general?
I think that I was fortunate enough. Like my first boss, Rachel, she's actually my auntie, but when I was at I Love Live, she was a very, very strong female within the industry. So I kind of looked up to her, but also learned from her. Whereas it might have been different if I had never had a female boss. Yeah. And, she ran all the MTV Lick parties for 5 years. I remember when I was a child watching MTV Base, seeing Trevor Nelson, I was like, that is the holy grail, for me and for everything I love. So that was I was really, really fortunate. And then also there's just been other people who have been in the industry who I've been able to be around. So I think that I came into it and I didn't see sort of like males were ahead of females, but you know, I kind of did know it as well. Although I didn't see it, I kind of knew it.
Do you think it's important to have mentors in the music
Yeah,
industry?
100%.
How has it helped you throughout your journey?
One, for me as well, because music is ever changing, and you know, in corporate structures again, you know, the music industry is corporate as well, but it's a lot more relaxed, clearly. And I feel like sometimes in a corporate structure, you have like, you know, there's a clear sort of vision of working your way up. And there really is in the music industry, but it's not like, right, once I get this, then I get that. Once I get that, I get that. It's more, it's a lot more relaxed, but I feel like there is still a lot of hard work that goes into it. And, you know, sometimes if I was to be like, I don't know what I'm going to need to do to get to the next level, I look at the people like Tim and Danny, like Rachel, like so many other people in the industry and say, wow, they started right where I did. And, you know, that was how many years ago, but I take similar steps. So I just look at their career and basically study it. But remember, within the music industry, all it takes is one song.
Yeah, right.
One song to make or break a career. So I can't keep saying to myself, oh, like, what's next, what's next, what's next? I just have to work and, you know, make as many songs or have input in as many songs and projects as I can, have your fingers in many baskets. But at the same time, I don't want to have my fingers in too many baskets to the sense where I can't focus and pay enough attention to each act on our roster and, you know, the time that they're due. So I really try and balance that out accordingly.
We'll talk a bit more about music, but things could be different for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you trained to be a ballet dancer.
Trained to be a ballet dancer.
Tell me about that.
Stopped when I went uni. It was... My mum always was like super like, I want you in every extracurricular activity there is. And I was fortunate to do like everything from like dance, gymnastics, instruments, all sorts of stuff. And you know, she's always like, the devil creates work for idle thumbs, so keep yourself in something. And it just became something that I was actually really good at and I loved. I did like up to I think like grade 7 ballet. Trained at the Royal Academy of Dance,
I have no idea
tap,
what you're talking about now, but
modern, all these things, tap, modern. I did gymnastics competitions all around the country, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. I used to sprint for Barnet in 100 metres. I did loads of sporty stuff. I was like literally like a little boy.
So, Miss Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
UK,
that was because my mum's friend was doing the hairdressing for one of the contestants in 2006. And we went to the show and I was like, oh, and you know, I used to go home to Trinidad every single year. I was born there, came here when I was 3, but I'm literally back and forth every single year. When I was a child, I used to go there for like 3 months every summer. And my grandfather, who is my uncle, but he raised me like a grandchild, he passed away, and I'd always said like everything I know about Trinidad is because of him, and I kind of wanted to do it as well because I still consider myself kind of tomboy, but it was like something different for me, and so yeah, did it. Didn't have any hopes of winning, just did it for the fun of it. And yeah.
and you won.
Yeah.
Explain the spirit. Like, explain the feeling when you won, and then what came after that. Because you got to meet so many people. Yeah,
got to meet so many people. Got sponsored by Caribbean Airlines, Grace Food Products. I did Caribbean Fashion Week, which was in Tobago. I did loads of press stuff for like newspapers, charities in Trinidad. And for me, it was just a thing where, like, I would say, when you are living in a different country, so what is your home, you tend to lose sense of your culture. And for me, it was, like, super, super important. Well, me and also my mum and my parents always reinforced, like, you know, just because we live in England, you know, in my house, it's not like an English house, I would say. I mean, I'm an only child, but mummy raised me like a full-on Trini, the best she could, I would say. And obviously, I'm always there, so... It was just, for me, it was just like, I really wanted to know and represent my country as best as I could. And that was that.
That's amazing. So I Love Live. What's some of your best memories from working at I Love Live?
Oh, the I Love Live. I think it was the 10th birthday. Maybe it was the 12th. I think it was the 10th. Wow, I really can't remember now. Definitely a birthday of some sort of. Yeah, I think it was the 10th. But basically, within the music industry, I Love Live started in 2004. So it had become a thing where it's like you do it as a rite of passage. Anyone who's everyone has done it in the UK.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran did it 3 times. He just came in and plugged in with his guitar. Rach 32, Tiny Temper, Jessie J, Emily Sandé, Chipmunk, Gets, like anyone who's big in the UK has sort of done I Love Live. And the fact that we give them the opportunity when they're sort of, I wouldn't say a nobody, but less known, they always are really thankful for us and they always encourage us in anything we're doing. And we just basically reached out to them and say, we want to do a big event. Usually we do events at around 200 capacity. We actually did the Electric in Brixton, which I think is 2,400. And we sold it out on a Monday night. And basically what we did is we invited guests that we've had to come back and do more of like a concert as opposed to a showcase. And we had, on that, we had Gets, Shaka, Jacob Banks, Rough Copy, Jessie J, Emily Sandé, Naughty Boy. I was at 9. Yeah, I think there was a couple other names. Blizzard, he was on it. Tanika, she did it. Yeah, we had, but regardless of people who were on stage, like we just invited everyone down. So like Lewis Hamilton was there, he came down.
That's crazy.
Everyone, loads of managers, A&Rs, they were just like, wow, like look how far you guys have come. And we put that on and, primarily it was, I Love Live was a really small team at the time. I think it was like 4 or 5 of us putting on that one event. And so on the night we were running around, we had Ras Kwame Twin presenting. So that was one of my favorite moments ever. And then, so the Rated Awards as well, the first couple of years.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We did we did all the event coordination, although it's a massive production now and it's gone so far. It started off really, really small. And we got to work on that and we did all the event coordination. I remember staying in the offices until 2 a.m. Literally, like, we did absolutely everything. There was no one brought in but us. And at the time, I was working outside of the offices, at their offices, the Disrupt offices, because I Love Live still had to go on.
Yeah.
So it was primarily, I felt like I was doing a lot of it. But it was so fun because I feel like I was doing something different. And I love like a bigger scale event as well. So seeing everything come together, that was really, really good. What else? The tour managing stuff. I think I'm yet to see like the best things. We've got Stormzy coming up, Glastonbury this year. That I know is going to be amazing. But Stormzy Wireless, when he closed Wireless on the Saturday or the Friday.
Yeah, that was big.
That was big.
Yeah, that was big.
That was big. We've had.
I mean, Wireless, because you mentioned, you've been involved in some of the biggest events, like Wireless One, Rated Awards, you mentioned. Now, explain the work that goes into an event like that, because...
Oh, it is months of planning. I'm talking, you've got an event in September, April, you're planning. If not, the earlier the better. Literally, the earlier the better. And it's so much things like, now we're very fortunate in the sense of you can basically work remotely anywhere. As long as you've got internet access, there's Google Docs, you're sharing stuff, all this and that. But it was so funny because Rachel was telling me, like, when she used to do lit parties, well, they sort of just had the emergence of the mobile phone then, but before it was faxes. And, so many times I'm thinking, if I'm running late, today I was running late, I could message you by the touch of a button.
Yeah.
If you weren't running late and you said to someone 3 o'clock, you're having to go find a, what's it called? A phone box to make a call. Like that sort of stuff. She still has her old Apple Mac, like the big one. Apple Mac like this, the orange one. And I'm thinking, wow, we take for granted how easy we have to do stuff. Now there's so many ways in which there's an app which we put all of our spreadsheets on for our tours and stuff. And we literally have different profiles. So I just click one, I'm on Dave. I click one, I'm on Stormzy. I click one, I'm on Steph. But back in the day, you're printing off thousands of sheets, following sheets, that sort of stuff. So yeah, preparation is the main thing, and obviously you have to leave like, what do they call it? A contingency plan. You have to have a contingency plan because things always mess up. Rated Awards, I remember we had presenters who were meant to present, and then on the night they didn't show up. We had to have backup presenters. I remember Rated Awards, we had when you open the card to say then the winner is, just in case that messed up, we had backup cards for every single award. There's so many things, and a lot of the time they're really simple things, but it's just paying attention to detail to make sure everything is right. So yeah, but it's so rewarding. It is so rewarding when you see the production, and after, when you're, especially on like events and tours, you don't really get to watch the show because you're running around. So you're hearing everyone, oh my God, it was a great show, whatever. I didn't get to watch Rated Awards until I got home. I watched it on TV. I saw bits, but when you're seeing it from the side of the stage, running around, it's totally different to what the audience is seeing. I remember it is all about the audience experience at the end of the day.
And the Rated Awards was big, and so looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to people who want to get in the industry, especially females, who maybe don't want to be a singer or a rapper?
Yeah, I think that it's a lot about who you know and your connections. So networking is a major part. I think that you should be at as many events as possible, but you don't want to make yourself seem too available, if you know what I mean. You want to make people think, what's this girl up to? What's she doing? And obviously that then, that leads to conversations to be had when people want to know who you are, what you're up to, what you like, this and that. That's really good. And I just think that don't be afraid and don't be intimidated by, big names or success that other people have had, because everyone started somewhere. Literally everybody started somewhere. When you go into labels and you see plaques all over the wall, this and that, and you see people receiving a plaque, it's timing. Like, I personally believe like it will come, and the laws of attraction, you put out what you get, what you want to get, I should say. So but I think that it's amazing. I think that the way a female can articulate and just come up with ideas and conversate, it's amazing, and it should be more present within the industry.
Yeah. So what's next for you in Stellar Songs? I know you've recently signed...
Signing acts. There's so many acts. Yeah, Wav, Sticks is my guy. There's so much amazing music going on. And we're just hoping that this music will one day reach the ears of everyone else. I see so many tracks all the time that I'm like, why is this not out? But, it's not down to me. It's down to the label and timing and this and that and all of that. But it's just keeping my ear open. And also, as well as signing new acts, it's also remembering who we already have on the existing roster and pushing them forward. What stuff have we got going on at the moment? Emily Sandé album's about to drop. Sam Smith, he's working on a whole new album. Distortion is over in Miami on a writing camp at the moment. We have Zai Zai, who is doing amazing. He's got, not allowed to say, stuff coming out. He's amazing. And he's got that whole French Congolese swag going on. Wav is amazing. I really think that he could be like a next Craig David. He's got that like urban leaning, soulful kind of voice. There's a guy called Reese who we signed, who's signed at DL. He is like this, how to describe him? Like a less guitar-y Ed Sheeran kind of. Okay. He's like, Ed's kind of got that urban influence going on, but he keeps it kind of folky and country-ish-esque with the guitar. There's loads, and there's so many producers that, you would look at, I don't know who to name, but you could look at a producer and be like, oh, they are an urban producer, they're a grime producer. We're really trying to push that out because, the world is much bigger than the UK. Obviously, it'd be amazing to conquer the UK, but the world is bigger than the UK. So I want to push artists that, they don't just want them having a UK sound, I want them having a worldwide sound. I think that with Stella, we just want to continue to develop more amazing acts, and just continue to contribute to like the industry as much as we can in any way possible. Janelle Fraser Janelle at timanddanny.com, and that's my email. Bear with me. I know I probably will take a while to reply, but I will reply. But yeah, always got my ear open for new music. Excited to hear new stuff. So yeah, would love to hear it.